ZX ZonePRO Basic Programming. Today I will take you through the ease of programming ZonePRO devices using ZonePRO Designer software. We will start with a basic retail store background music application. Let's take a quick look at an application drawing to familiarize ourselves with the needs for this install. In this application, we will be using the ZonePRO 640 to control input levels, input EQ, output source selection and volume control using ZC3 and ZC1 wall controllers, page ducking, zone EQ, and limiting. In this application, our inputs will be an AKG DST99S page mic, a CD player, and a satellite music source. The output zones will consist of the sales floor, stockroom, office, and on-hold music. All zone outputs will run into a Crown CTS 4200 amplifier, which will drive the JBL Control 25T speakers. We will begin by opening ZonePRO Designer version 3.1 software. Once ZonePRO Designer is open, it should look identical to my screen. Note, if you are already connected to a ZonePRO device, that device's icon would appear on your screen automatically. In this case, I'm working in offline mode, and I'll have to insert a device manually. I will first click on the device menu. From the device menu, I will then click on the Add option. For this application, I will choose a ZonePRO 640 to control this retail store application. You will now see that the ZonePRO 640 icon has appeared on the screen. To access this device, simply double-click on the device icon. The program screen for the ZonePRO 640 will open. Input channels are displayed on the left and output zones are on the right. Let's jump right into programming the ZonePRO for this retail application. To begin, you will click on the Wizard option located on the menu bar. You will then click on the Configuration Wizard option. The Configuration Wizard will now guide you step by step from inputs to output zones to ZC wall controllers. Simply fill in the blanks. The page you are looking at on your screen is the source configuration page. This is where you will label your inputs. The first input name next to ML1 will be the AKG DST99 page mic, which I will label page mic. We are putting the page mic into the ML1 input because it is a mic line switchable input. By switching the mic line switch to the pressed in position on the back of the ZonePRO, you will enable the mic preamp and also engage phantom power. We will leave the ML2 input empty on the back of the device, but I will go ahead and name it NA so we know it's empty. We will now jump to the S1 or Source 1 input for our CD player. This input is named CD by default, so we don't need to rename the input for this application. The left and the right for the CD player will plug into the red and white connectors on the S1 input on the back of the ZonePRO. Source channels S1 through S4 on the ZonePRO 640 have two mono-summing RCA input jacks on each channel. This removes the need for Y cables in the field and provides a proper mono-summing input circuit. Don't worry though, if you need stereo inputs, the ZonePRO makes that fast and easy as well. Simply plug the left output from your CD player into the top S1 input and the right into the top S2 input. Click on the stereo checkbox on this page and the channel is recognized as stereo. As an added benefit, mono and stereo inputs will automatically combine or split when selected in mono or stereo outputs, or just remain stereo to stereo outputs. In this example, we don't need stereo, so I will uncheck the stereo box. The next input, S2, is where you will plug in the satellite music source. Again, by default, we don't need to change the name, but you can if desired. For inputs S3 and S4, I will change the names again to NA, since they will not be used. On the right side of the source configuration screen, you will see Input DSP Inserts 1 and 2. You have selectable DSP or digital signal processing inserts on each of the mic line switchable channels. As I click on the drop-down menu for Insert 1, you will see that the options are Automatic Gain Control, Notch Filter, Compressor, Gate, De-esser, and AFS, or Advanced Feedback Suppression. In this example, I only need to choose inserts for the page mic. I will insert AFS to eliminate feedback during paging into Insert 1. I will then select a compressor in Insert 2. This allows for greater level consistency when pages are made. Now that the sources have been named and inserts selected, click on the Next button at the bottom right of the screen. This next page is the Zone Configuration page. The Zone Configuration page of the wizard works much like the source page. Name your output zones, select a crossover type if needed, and select your output DSP. For this example, I will name the first output zone as Sales Floor. The second will be the Stockroom. The third zone is Office, and the fourth is the On-Hold Music. You may change the names to whatever fits your install. The next column to the right is the Router Mix Select. The ZonePRO 640 and 641 only have routing available. All other ZonePRO devices allow the option to mix or route to an output zone. The next column to the right is the crossover type. Your options in the crossover drop-down menu are mono, mono with mono sub, stereo, mono triamp, stereo with mono sub, and stereo with dual sub. For this example, we will not need a crossover. All zones will be mono full range. The next column is the Output DSP insert. Your options in the ZonePRO 640 are None, Automatic Gain Control, or AGC, Compressor, and Limiter. Be aware that the ZonePRO M models also allow for ambient noise compensation as an output option. For the first three output zones, I will choose a limiter to prevent amp clipping. For the fourth output, I will choose AGC. AGC will make sure that the on-hold music stays at a desired level all the time. Now that I have named the output zones and selected my DSP for each zone, I'm ready to move on to the controllers. Click on the Next button at the bottom right of the screen. That concludes Part 1 of DBX ZonePRO Basic Programming. To continue, please move on to Part 2.